Greetings, everyone. It's the 24th of September 2022. It has been a Heritage Day in South Africa. People celebrating what was known as Shaka Day before 1994. While we were celebrating Heritage Day, we were burying a 5-year-old boy, our nephew, who was brutally murdered by his stepmother. I will not go into the details of how our nephew was mistreated, abused, to an extent that he died, and we buried him today in Johannesburg. But we want to talk about the whole question of stepchildren and the step-parents. What is the relationship? This has not happened only to our family. Many families have gone through this challenge where either a stepmother will abuse to the point of death a stepchild. Some stepchildren not being given food by the stepmother. Some their fees, school fees not being paid by the stepmother. We have stepfathers who rape their stepdaughters, stepfathers who abuse their stepchildren. We have stepchildren, older ones, who do not accept that either their mother or father should find a life partner, and they will not respect the stepmother or stepfather. And this is a societal problem that our society is faced with. On one end, you have stepkids, less than 15 years, who get abused by a stepfather or stepmother. Differently, of course. Like I've said, some have been raped by their stepfathers. Some have been tortured by their stepmothers to the point of death, as was our nephew. And the stepchildren who are older, above 17. Say the mother in the family dies, and the dad marries a second wife after the death of the first wife. Some elder children will not accept that someone is coming home to replace their mother. And they do not want to accept their stepmother. Their father dies, and the mother brings another man in the home or goes to marry elsewhere. And her children will not accept another man who's taking the place of their father. How do we deal with these issues? Because these are societal problems. We have seen on social media videos circulating where some parents will be abusing children because these children are not their biological children. But how do you begin to love a person when you cannot love their children? I mean, if you say you love Comrade Ngqabutho Mabhena, assuming I'm single, and you say you love Comrade Ngqabutho Mabhena, and I have my own children, but you do not accept my own children, but you want me to accept your own children. How do I begin to say I love someone that has their own children, but I cannot treat her children like my own? I cannot assist the paying of school fees, clothing, shelter, and I'm not prepared to play the role of a father. These are societal problems. For the younger generation, especially in the case of men, it is important that when you have brought a new wife in the family who's not the mother of your children, you need to monitor the behavior of your children. Because children might not talk out that they have been abused. They will not relate to you, in most cases, that they have been abused. They die in silence. So it is the duty of you as a father to monitor their behavior. An abused person changes behavior. You come from work in the evening, you are given food, children are told to go to the bedroom and sleep. Maybe they did not even eat, but you are eating. And the wife tells you that the children have eaten. And you take a word. Because if you begin to want to verify with the children, then the trust card is thrown on the table. To say, okay, don't trust me, trust your children. And when you hear someone says your children, that's a disaster. There are also women. It's important to check the change of behavior when there's a stepfather in the house. Are the children happy? Are there no signs of abuse? Because if you are a parent and the kids are abused under your roof, you must also take responsibility. Because your kids have been abused by your partner. And you cannot claim that you are not aware of the ongoing abuse. It's because you no longer have a relationship with your children. You can't take a walk with your children. You can't have a one-on-one with your children. Not because you don't trust your partner, whether your wife or your husband, but because you have noticed change of behavior from your kids. In some cases, it is advisable that when, especially men, when you divorce or your wife dies, you then take another wife. If it is practically possible, send your kids to their granny, to be brought up by their granny. You'll be visiting them over the weekend. It is better for them to grow up under the watchful eye of a granny than your kids to grow up in your home while they are being abused. All of us were brought up by our grannies. Now, So it's nothing new. I always tell you stories how I used to go with my grandmother to give guerrillas food during the liberation struggle. Where too, my mother was working somewhere. My parents divorced when I was young. My mother was working somewhere, and I was brought up by my grand. Nothing wrong with that. So you don't have to say, no, my own children stay in my house. Yes, all of us, we want to stay with our children, but at times circumstances do not allow us. It's not that you don't love your kids, no. But you want to protect them. And in the African tradition, normally when a woman gets married, of course it changes in cities. Normally when a woman gets married for the second time, or gets married a child or children from a previous marriage, normally they leave their kids with their grannies and comes and join the Mabena family. But as we always talk about capitalism, that it has brought us together to the cities. We then live together with our stepkids. And what then is the relationship? How do you, when you are a father, rape your own daughter? Because your stepdaughter is your own daughter. How do you begin to rape your own daughter? It happens. If you are a woman, how do you eat alone and the child is crying, is not eating, not because there's no food, you are eating, but you don't want to feed the child because it's your stepchild? There are other people, especially women. Some women, not every woman, but some women, who think that when I have a child, they find that I have a child, I stay with the child, they think that whatever I acquired, because already I have kids, those material things will be taken over inherited by my kids from my first relationship. And then they try their best to destroy the child to the point of death. So we're confronted with a serious societal problem. The relationship between stepchildren and step-parents. If you know that you cannot love a man that have kids from a previous relationship, don't date the person. Don't agree to move in with a person that has kids if you know that you cannot take care of kids from his previous relationship. If you know you cannot accept to take responsibility of children of your girlfriend from her previous relationship, don't date the person. Do not move in with a woman who has kids if you clearly know that you will not take responsibility for those kids. Because you can't claim to love a woman but cannot love their kids. And you can't claim to love a man but you cannot love their kids. Maybe, as I conclude, maybe something which we have to consider, maybe when your relationship fails and you have your young kids, allow your kids to grow and be adults before you remarry. I know that my pastors will be up in arms with me. They will say, yo, Comrade Mapen, you are promoting adultery. No. I'm asking these questions because we want to find a solution. And I'm saying, if you know that your kids are young, and you think your kids will be abused by either the woman that will move in with or by the man that will move in with, do not move with anyone. Just have a sexual partner. You will be visiting each other until kids are grown up, they are adults. Once they've completed schooling, you can then decide to say, now that my kids are grown up, I'm no longer living with them. Let me find my partner. We live together because there's no way that my kids will be affected because they are now grown up. Because it cannot be that in the case of our nephew, beat a child to the point of death. It cannot be that you rape a minor because it's not your biological daughter. If your first relationship fails and you have kids, young kids, do not rush to move in with anyone. Allow your kids to grow. They go through schooling. In any case, marriage is not a competition. I've said my pastors will be up in arms with me. Today is the Sabbath. And happy Sabbath, by the way. Do not move in. Do not marry. Let me put it bluntly. Do not marry if you have young kids. Only marry when your kids are grown up, so that your partner will not be able to abuse them because they are now adults, they've completed schooling, they are working on their own. Then because now you can't live alone because your kids are out, they are living on their own lives, then you can bring a man, you can bring a woman, then the two of you can enjoy life. Not to bring a woman or a man who's going to destroy the future of your own children. No. You don't have to do that. Accept that you are a single father. Accept that you are a single mother. Right? So I want to hear from you. What do you think? There are many stories that you have heard. Stepchildren versus step-parents. I've said some stepchildren do not accept that someone is coming to replace them. They are now grown up. If kids are grown up, they have their own life because they are grown up. So it is natural that their mother or father will want to have a partner, right? They are now grown up, they have gone through college or university, you have taken care of them. You need someone in your life, but not when the kids are young. You can only marry if you have young kids. You can only marry if indeed you know that the woman or the man you are going to marry is not going to abuse your kids. Otherwise, just have a partner. You'll be visiting each other once a week or once a fortnight. Your priority are your kids. Many kids have been destroyed. Their lives have been destroyed by step parents. Please share your views in the comment section, and maybe my comrades can assist from a Marxist perspective on how to deal with this societal problem, because indeed it is a problem in our society and we cannot ignore. Please like this video, circulate, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. Otherwise, have a great day. Goodbye.